Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. Recently, I've been looking through a lot of nostalgic moments, iconic outings and performances I watched when I was younger that really made me love the game the way I do today. Which brings me to today's subject. While watching these highlights, I found myself circulating back to the Home Run Derby, both recent as well as in the past. And that brought a question to mind. Who had the best Home Run Derby round in my lifetime? And it didn't take me long to find the answer either. And the answer I found might not just be the best Home Run Derby performance of my lifetime, but of the entire history of the Home Run Derby. And that got me thinking, what would the Home Run Derby be like today if this round had never happened? The round I'm referencing, of course, is this one, Josh Hamilton's first round of the 2008 Home Run Derby. During this round, Josh Hamilton would put up 28 home runs, with most of which being somewhere between 450 to 550 feet. And as impressive as that seems, it's even more so when you consider how difficult it would be to post a number like that in 2008. The reason I say that is because the rules of the 2008 Home Run Derby were significantly different than the Derby today. Each batter got 10 outs, with any swing not resulting in a home run being an out. There was no time limit, but there was also no reward for hitting a long home run. That means no bonus time. So, hypothetically, a player could have 50 plus home runs. As long as he didn't have 10 outs, he has all the time in the world to continue adding on to that number. It does also mean, though, that a player could have 0 home runs on 10 outs over a course of 10 swings. And when you take that swing number and you compare it with what you see in a round today, you start to get the point I'm making. It really highlights the efficiency that Josh Hamilton showed in this round. When you take his swing count and you divide it into home runs per out, his number absolutely dwarfs numbers from recent rounds today. Not only that, but in the Home Run Derby today, if you hit 2 shots over 440 feet, that buys you a full minute of extra time. Josh Hamilton seemingly hit that number in the first 2 swings of his round. If it were about accumulated distance, Josh Hamilton would have won the entire Derby with just the numbers he put up in this first round, and by a lot too. Mathematically speaking, Josh put up over 2 miles of home runs in this first round alone. Take that number, divide it into feet per out, and you get an average of over 1,000 feet traveled for each out. Now take that number and adjust it to today's standards, Josh is putting up almost a mile a swing. Now, obviously, that's hypothetical thinking, but it really does show you how incredible of a round this was. And that's what makes it so tragic. He didn't even win this Derby. All this round really did was move him to the next bracket. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody remembers this Home Run Derby for this round, and plenty of people were talking about it immediately after and into the future. But there always has been a sense of injustice about it. So much so, in fact, that not too long after this, the MLB decided to step in and make some changes. For the better, though? Well, let's discuss it. Gone were the gigantic sluggers heaving the ball as far as they could on each swing they took. The game was about speed and stamina now. Since players couldn't take a break between swings anymore, the goal became to get off as many swings as you could before your time was up. This resulted in a drop in efficiency, but a raise in the round totals. Also, with the bonus time added, it gave players a more clear and defined mark to hit and how to pace themselves throughout the competition. This received mixed reviews, however. Many fans weren't happy with the new tempo of the event, as there was a definite shift in focus and strategy. While some stay loyal to the old structure, we have been treated to multiple noteworthy performances since the rule change. Names like Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. come to mind. Seeing guys like this face off head-to-head in an up-tempo slugging match is definitely fun to watch. But you do have to wonder, what kind of home runs would these guys be putting up without the timer? Aesthetically speaking, anyway. There is something to be said for the subtle side of baseball, and while I do feel like these rule changes give us more bang for our buck, I can't help but wonder about the moonshots we might be missing out on. It also calls to mind the question of which players would have put up better performances during which era of the Derby. And on that note, let's talk about the father-son Derby duo. Vladimir Guerrero Sr. and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. have both won the Home Run Derby, the only two members of this exclusive club. They also both won the Derby under a different set of rules. Now, let's take a look at their performances and see what differences we can find. Right away, you notice the discrepancies in their style, with Senior taking full cuts trying to guarantee himself a home run on each pitch, and Junior taking a more compact approach to try and reserve stamina. All in all, it's hard to say which era of the Home Run Derby is truly better. So much of the discussion sits in the hypothetical, but one thing that is for certain is there would be no eras to compare if it weren't for this first round performance from Josh Hamilton in 2008. He may have had his crown stolen from him, but he'll always be remembered for the best round of batting practice any of us have ever seen. So thank you, Josh, and thank you, viewer. Please like and subscribe.